So 45 and 46. So these two verses refer to the hair. Both of these verses make a reference to the hair. So for the 45 verse is Aralai Swabhavyat Ali Kalabha Sashri Bhiralakaihi Paritam Te Vaktram Parihasati Panke Ruharuchim Darasmere Yasmin Dashana Ruchi Kinjalka Ruchire Sugandhau Madyanti Smara Dahana Chakshur Madhuliha. Aralaihi Swabhavyat, naturally fragrant. Aralai is fragrant. Arali, there is a flower called Arali, and it's supposed to be very, it's got a very strong fragrance. So Aralai means that which is fragrant. Aralaihi carries fragrance naturally. Swabhavyat. Ali Kalabha, young bees. Sashribhi Alakaihi. And what is the Alakaihi is the curly hair, and it is beautiful. Sashribhihi. Ali Kalabha is like young bees, like small young bees. Just imagine, and you will see this in many, generally in women in Kerala. They have very dense and very curly hair. Young girls, after a morning, they take a bath and all of that, they come out. You see their hair is very dense and very curly. And here Devi's hair is also described like that. And that dense hair, it seems like they are bees. They're very young bees that are curled around Devi's face. Ali Kalabha means young bees. Sashribhi is beautiful. Alakaihi, curly hair. Paritam, surrounding. Te Vaktram, it is surrounding your beautiful face. Around the whole face, very curly and dense hair. And it is making mockery of beautiful lotus flowers. Parihasati panke ruharuchim. There is beautiful panke ruha, which are beautiful lotus flowers. It is parihasati, which means this is far more beautiful than the lotus flowers. And darasmere yasmin, this gentle smile that you have on your face, dashana ruchi kinjalka ruchire. It appears lustrous because of your teeth. Okay, so hair, the face, and the teeth. So this whole appearance is very beautiful. Dashana ruchira, ruchi kinjalka ruchire. The teeth make your face brighten up. It's white in color and brightens up the face. Sugandhau madyanti smaradahana chakshuhu maduliha. So your the fragrance that is coming out of your body, out of you, in this case the hair, because the hair is spoken of aralaihi swabhavyat. So the fragrance that is coming out, it makes everybody get intoxicated. And it's saying it is because of that the bees, madhuliha, or bees are coming to your face because they're getting intoxicated by this fragrance. They're getting drawn by this fragrance, and hence they're coming and hovering around your face. So this is also, if you recall, it is something similar. There's a long verse in Shamala Dandakam. Right? Similarly, where paribhranti, the bees are going mad, smelling the smell, and they get misdirected. Kasturi smell that is applied on your face. The bees are getting misdirected and they think that these are beautiful flowers here, and hence they come to your face. So there is a verse like that, right? So this is similar to that. Now there is a lot of reference of bees, hair, and then smara dahana. Even Manmatha is brought here. So Manmatha Smara, he is also or rather, in this case, Smara Dahana is the one who is killed, who kills Smara, who Dahati, Smara Dahati. Who is that? Shiva. Shiva kills Smara, right? So the context here is that Shiva is drawn to your beauty, this beautiful face of yours. Even Shiva's is drawn to your beauty. And also, one of the ways of saying is the eyes that you have are the eyes of Shiva. Smara Dahana Chakshuhu. Smara Dahana Chakshuhu, you are having the eyes of Shiva. And hence you're carrying this beauty. So again, it's a very beautiful poetic way of describing the face and the hair. Okay. And in this particular verse and the next verse that we'll see in the 46th verse, Adi Shankara talks about how this face itself is a form of that can offer us meditation and also offer us madhura, the nectar. In the next one, he'll talk about how this face is sudha lepasyutihi. It is as though there is nectar that is being applied. So let us look at the second verse, also the 46th verse, and then together kind of try to look at this, look at what is being discussed here or described here. So what is the next verse? Lalatam lavanya. Your beautiful forehead. Lalatam lavanya. Forehead is lalatam. Lavanya, beautiful. Dyuti vimalam abhati. Vimalam is no mala. Vimala. Vimala dyuti abhati. It is shining beautifully, gloriously. Tavayat. Your forehead is shining beautifully. Dvitiyam tanmanye makuta ghatitam chandra shakalam. Now he's saying that you have a forehead which is like a moon. Then you have another moon, Chandra Shakalam, on the above your head. Chandra Shakalam. Now he's saying you turn one. So this particular moon, assuming the moon on the forehead and the moon on the forehead, and then the forehead itself is a moon. Ashtami Chandra Vibhraja Dalikasthala Shobhita. If you remember Lalita Sahasranama, there is a reference that goes that Ashtami Chandra Vibhraja Dalikasthala Shobhita. Your forehead, O mother, is like the Ashtami Chandra, the 8th day moon, the gibbous moon, 8th day moon. And there is a Chandra on top of her head, Chandra Shakalam. Now he says Viparyasa Nyasat. Viparya, first you turn it down. So one moon is in one direction, half like this. The other moon, you turn it and you put them together, then this place becomes a full moon. Viparyas Nyasat Ubhayam api, both the halves, Sambhuya cha mithaha, they are placed together. Sudha lepasyutihi. Sudha lepasyutihi means the joining part is as though it is joined by a lepa. Lepa is some kind of cementing or some kind of a glue that you are applying between the two halves. What is that glue? Sudha, nectar. And hence your whole face is Raka Himakaraha. Whole face is shining beautiful like a full moon. Sudha lepasyutihi parinamati, transformed. Your whole face is transformed into a Raka Himakaraha. Brilliantly shining and bright full moon. Okay. So 45, 46 is describing Devi's face, hair, teeth, eyes in just in 2 verses, and trying to bring our attention to the face itself and to experience the beauty on the face. how to experience the beauty on the face and experience the joy of getting nectar. So he's saying that when we are able to meditate upon this face, one can experience that joy of meditation and can go to that state of full transformation, full illumination, full enlightenment. What did Abhirami Pattar see in his inner eye? When he closed his eyes, he was meditating on Devi. He saw a full moon. That is why the king came and asked on an Amavasya day what tithi it is. He said it's Paurnami, because he was experiencing Paurnami inside his eye, within his mind. Raka Himakaraha, a full moon was experienced. And how beautifully is Bhagavan Adi Shankara describing this? He's saying there are two halves of the moon. You have one moon, which is your forehead, is one half. Think of the other moon as the second half. So 8, both of them. One is the 8th day moon, the other is another 8th day moon. Both of them, you turn them such that they come together one above the other, and you stick them with Sudha, Lepaha. Stick them with nectar. You glue them together with nectar. So, and then the previous one is about 45th is about bees, how bees are coming and congregating towards your face. Your hair looks like very, very dense bees that are coming together. So, Adi Shankar Sri Vidyaji is saying, how can one imagine and describe Devi so beautifully? Adi Shankara, great astronomer. Yeah. So see, these they are in such intoxicated states that their experience, they're using all kinds of metaphors that are available to experience, to describe their experience. Why are they doing so much? Is because they can't really describe. You cannot describe this, right? And for us also, if you look at this, you cannot even when you read this or there is an explanation, how much of this can we really absorb and experience this? We can understand it to some extent because there is a metaphor that is shown. But for us to be able to experience this beauty and assimilate it in words is very difficult. And it almost seems so, on one hand, it seems, wow, it is such a beautiful poetic expression of the idea. On the one hand, it seems, whoa, why so complicated, right? You got the hair looking like bees, and then there is fragrance that is coming. Bees are getting drawn to it. Then your eyes are like Shiva's eyes, and then your teeth are shining so beautifully. Hence, your face is shining. And then your forehead is like the moon, and then there is another moon on top of your head, and then you bring them together, you turn one and you bring the two together, and then you form a full moon. See, all of these ideas are very in a way complex ideas that you're trying to express, but to somebody who's experiencing this, if you ask someone who's experiencing this, to such a person, this is actually, he will say, no, I have not been able to express it well enough. Right? Just give me one moment, please. Yeah, sorry. So if you ask the person who is actually experiencing this and describing, they will still feel that this is short of what they're experiencing. They'll say this is probably the closest at this time I'm trying to explain this or express this, but this is still fall short of what I'm experiencing. They're using whatever is available to them, whatever they've seen a moon, they've seen flowers, they've seen trees, they've seen bees, they've seen the moon, they've seen the sun. They use all of this to just express the idea. One thing for us is to look at this and just say that such a beautiful thing. It is so beautiful. Adi Shankara has explained this so beautifully. Wow, and all that. And just feel grateful that we are getting access to this. The other is he is also trying to give us some hints here. Right? Hints like the bees. Bees, we have spoken about the bees or the sound of the bees. The bees get drawn to fragrance. This is the natural order of things, right? Naturally, bees get drawn to fragrance, bees get drawn to color, they get drawn to this. In both the verses, we have to look at it slightly the other way. Instead of saying bees, so in nature, you see bees get drawn to sound and color. But what does the bee mean to us within us is this sound. The sound of the bee is usually referred to as the humming sound, the sound, and that is equated to the sound of omkara, or the when you do Brahmari, you close your nose, mouth, and you start sending, or you start creating this hum sound within. So when you make that sound, this whole region, the facial region, will vibrate. It will generate some kind of vibration. This is the vibration that a bee sting also creates. Those who have had the experience of a bee sting, it'll feel as though the body is having some kind of an electric shock. At least the part that where they get stung, it feels as though there's huge amount of activity that's happening, and there is some kind of an electrical movement that's happening. So here we are saying this, you do this practice, we do this kind of you generate the sound from within. Yeah, it's a mad pain. The bee sting is extremely painful, right? It's almost like an electrical impulse that's passing through the part that is being stung. Now,
Actually, Anna,
sorry.
I wonder, when the bee stung me, actually, it's like so painful, right? But it made me want to move so that I would distract from the pain. So I was jumping around, and it wasn't as some certain pains are like debilitating, that it prevents you from moving.
Okay.
But this one was the other way around.
Yeah, right. This is
I
like,
was
for
like,
example,
let
a
me run
scorpion.
around.
Yeah, a scorpion sting may probably stun you, while a bee's sting is probably
Yes.
making you.
I wonder if there's any. It just occurred to me. Wonder if there's
No,
anything.
maybe it is just, maybe what happens is there is so much of that electrical impulse concentrated on one part of the body, it make you move so that it gets distributed probably.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
natural movement that you wanted to,
That's what it felt like.
yeah, you want to dissipate that from one part of your body because it's intense, so that it kind of gets um you know distributed to the whole,
Mm,
distributed equally around or whatever, or gets dissipated in some form.
dissipate. Mm,
So this kind of a thing is what that you experience when you do this kind of a Brahmari, or that kind of a practice. When you create that sound from within, that whole vibration it creates here, and that is the sound of Omkara, which you generate from within. Right? And then when you fill up this part, when you fill up the whole face and the head part, this whole vibration, it helps you rejuvenate your brain. It helps you rejuvenate the facial uh, parts of your body. And it's almost like you're sending electrical impulses to different parts of your face and body, face, right? So the bees get drawn to fragrance and light and color and all of that. But here it's the other way. We are saying you generate the bees sound, and hence then your perception brightens up. So you look at how we twist the way we see it. The poet says that, oh, your face is so beautiful that the bees are getting drawn to it. It's smelling great, so hence the bees are coming. It looks so bright, the bees are coming. But what Adi Shankara is also hiding into it is saying that when you do the sadhana or you do this practice of the Brahmari or of the bee sound or the bee, you generate this sound, your sense perception opens up and everything looks bright to you. Colors look brighter, you're able to hear better or much sharper, you're able to smell much sharper. So when your sense perceptions open up, it opens up to us probably a slightly different dimension of perception, not just the general perception, the dimension of perception that we are regularly used to. It opens up a different dimension, right? So that is one from the bee and the smell and the color and all that. And then you've got the teeth. So saying Devi's teeth brightens up her face. And teeth is always referred to as Shuddha Vidya Ankurakara Dvijapankti Dvayojvala. Again, that's another verse in Lalita Sahasranama. Teeth, Ankura, it is referred to as Ankura, small, um, um, uh, like grape-like things, right? Ankura. And they are 32. Supposed to have 32, 16 and 16. Dvijapankti, 2 rows of 16 each. And this is the Shodashi. 16 here is Shodashi. So when you are in that Shuddha Vidya Ankurakara Dvijapankti Dvayojvala, there are 2 rows and both of them are shining brightly. And what are they? Shuddha Vidya. They're Sri Vidya. They are the knowledge of Devi. They are the knowledge, the understanding of what the supreme principle is. And when he's saying your face is brightened up by the teeth means what? When you get the understanding of Sri Vidya, you brighten up. You become resplendent. You realize the truth, and there is a grace, there is a brightness, and there is a luster to you. See how we look at these verses is this is how we look at it to say, yes, he's saying that in the 45th, Darasmere yasmin dashana ruchi kinjalka ruchire. Your lustrous teeth look so beautiful and they're brightening up your face. You're saying, what is that teeth? Teeth is this. Teeth means understanding. So as you develop more and more understanding, more and more luster shows up on your face. If you look at Ramana Maharshi's videos, he is not handsome by any measure. Absolutely not handsome by any measure, even from his childhood. The current Bala Shankaracharya, at least there is a luster. Even as a young boy, you are able to see some ஒரு லட்சணமா இருக்கு முகம் அப்படின்னு. Because he's got the features in place, மூக்கு sharp and all that, right? Got a nice facial structure and all that gives that appeal. But Ramana Maharshi is not that at all. He didn't have the golden ratio, as they call, right? The golden ratio for a beautiful face. But in his presence, people felt that he was exuding brightness and luster because of Shuddha Vidyankurakara Dvijapankti Dvayojvala. He had the understanding, he had developed understanding of truth, the supreme principle. He had gotten hold of what that truth is. And hence his face was shining bright. And then the 46th verse, Bhagavan Adi Shankara is talking about the moon. The same thing. So he is now saying, your forehead is a moon. You have another moon on top of your head, Chandra Shakalam. You turn that one and you bring this moon here together and make it full. The two halves, you bring them together and make it full. And then you glue them together with Sudha. Sudha lepasyutihi. And then when you do that, then your face is like a Raka Himakaraha. It is like a beautiful full moon. Now, how do we look at this? We look at this again from a perspective where when we are saying that now um, there is the aspect of the Shiva and Shakti that is appearing here, right? When you bring the two halves together means when you balance both your Ida and the Pingala, or you balance whenever there is two halves mentioned, it is always representation of duality. When duality resolves into a singular entity, what comes out of it is Sudha. Nectar flows out in the process of Advaita. When Dvaita becomes Advaya, when the two becomes one, what comes out of it is the experience, or what you experience is the flow of nectar. Which means there is a dissolution of this and that. There is a moon here, which is I. There is a moon on the outside, which is it. The I and the it come together. There is dissolution. There is no I and it separate. Idam and param, or this and that. Idam and tat, that is not this. Idam and tat are not two separate. When that happens, when we bring them two together, then there is this experience of nectar flowing. And again, there is this mudra that we have spoken of as Kechari mudra. Kechari mudra is a mudra where roll up the tongue and you try to touch the palate inside the mouth. You try to touch the upper palate of your mouth, and you hold it there for a little while. The more and more you practice, there are people who try to cut the membrane under the tongue so that the tongue can be elongated and go further back. But those are all not required. We don't need to go to that extreme. But just to do Kechari, slowly we practice. Mouth can be closed and the tongue turned and goes upwards. Right? This is a mudra that's usually taught in yogic sciences, in Kriya Yoga and all that. This is taught. The reason I'm speaking about this is that this cannot cause too much harm. It can only do good. Now, what happens is when you do that, you will notice that slowly, the mind starts coming to the Agnya. It's very interesting. It's something that one needs to try to explore what happens there. When the tongue rolls up and goes, you touch the back of the palate, the mind comes into the Agnya, which means automatically there is some kind of an absorption, some kind of a consolidation of your perception happens. Right now, when you're perceiving, it's not consolidated, it is dissipated, right? And when you do that, it comes here. And when it comes there, slowly as one practices, there is first you actually, it is interesting. First, you will taste, it will feel like bitter taste. There'll be a taste of bitterness that will be there. And as you keep doing, those who have mastered it, they are able to tap into, there is what is called as in the pineal gland, there is a hormone which starts releasing itself little by little, and that is very, very sweet. It is a very sweet uh, kind of a liquid that one can taste at the tip of the tongue. And that is the nectar that he's talking about. And when that nectar is tasted, that nectar is there, it's experienced as the sudha that is flowing from inside, then your face is glowing. Raka himakaraha. The face becomes full like the full moon. Right? So this is where Bhagavan Adi Shankara is saying, when we look at Devi, look at her face, this beautiful curly hair that's flowing on her face. It's like beautiful bees, young bees that are just hovering around her face. And there is this natural smell, aralaihi swabhavyat, beautiful natural smell that is there. And uh, the and then her face is glowing because of her teeth, the beautiful teeth that she has. And her eyes are like Shiva's eyes, smaradahana chakshuhu. And such beautiful eyes, which means Shiva's eyes means what? It means that your eyes have opened up to truth. It's no more duality. Eyes have opened up, and hence your whole face becomes beautiful. And then again, the same thing, saying that now you've got this moon already, and then there is another moon on the outside, there is a moon on your forehead, you bring the two together, and then there is this nectar that is flowing. Right? So he is speaking about the Brahmari, where you bring your attention within your facial, within your, inside this whole area, your perception increases, your ability to perceive things much more clearly becomes a possibility. And then you go deeper using Kechari, etc. Then you possibly are able to experience the joy of nectar that is flowing inside of you. Okay? So 45, 46 is about meditation, methods of meditation that we can apply to ourselves. As we learn, as we pick up some of these methods, we practice, some of these experiences become joyful. It becomes like a joyful experience within us. And it then it's no longer this, you're looking at a Devi on the outside, you're looking at the face, and then you're wondering, oh, how do I relate to this? Oh, oh, the poet has said it so beautifully now, so what do I do with this? It's not like that anymore. Anything that you see, you start appreciating that there must be, or there is an inner perception of that, what you see on the outside. That external perception, antarjyotihi, bahirjyotihi, pratyakjyoti paratparaha. When you start seeing the light inside, then you open up your eyes, you see the light outside, and you close, you see the light inside, then there is light outside and inside. There is this exchange of light that is happening outside and inside. Now then, when you see anything on the outside, you know that how do you try to, it within you, it naturally becomes an instinctive way of trying to internalize it. And you say, this is the way I need to look at it. Not just be stuck on the outside. How do I bring it within and improve my perception of looking at things in the most profound way? Right? So that is 45 and 46. We'll just chant that once and we will close today. अरालै स्वाभाव्यात् अलिकलभसश्रीभिरलकैः परीतं ते वक्त्रं परिहसति पङ्केरुहरुचिं दरस्मेरे यस्मिन् दशनरुचिकिञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन दहनचक्षुर्मधुलिह ललाटं लावण्य द्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलं विपर्यासन्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः ॐ कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओम तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम हरि ओम